What is up, guys? Welcome back to Rock Bottom Customs. I'm in a little different spot. I usually do my intros and outros from my shop, but today we're in the office. That's how it works out sometimes. In this episode, we're going to be working on a bike. I got I want to say it's maybe a 1998 Suzuki Intruder 800. It's a nice bike, but it's been sitting in a shed for years. I mean years. Covered in dust and debris. Doesn't run, hasn't run for years. But I'm going to see if we can get this thing running, and I want to try to make a bobber out of it. It just looks like the kind of bike that would look good as a bobber. I wasn't necessarily in the market for a bike when I got this thing. I just ended up with it during some trading. I'm going to try to make the best of it and see what we can do with it. And as always, please like and subscribe. Now enough with the chitter chatter, let's get to it. So this is a bike that I acquired in some horse trading. It's a 800 Intruder, Suzuki Intruder. It doesn't run. It looks like it's been sitting around collecting dust and dirt daubers and no telling what else for years. So it's got a bunch of parts that came with it. I guess all these parts need to go on it. I don't really know. First things first, maybe that goes, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can get this thing running better and hopefully get it looking better and make a little money off of it. Alright, so I'm getting a battery rigged up on this thing, trying to anyway. This is what came out of it. I could have ordered one of these for, I don't remember how much, more than I wanted to pay and longer than I wanted to wait. Picked this up at Walmart. I think it's going to fit in there. I gave it a little dry fit. I know it's too small, so it might be a little loose, but I got a plan for that. These things were facing front to back, where they needed to face out the sides, and I robbed these adapters off of this battery, stuck them on this one. Had to bend up these things, modify them just a little bit, but now I got a side post instead of a front post. So now she's a side poster. Maybe that'll work. See if we can get this thing to start up. Still don't have any gas for it. I got to pick up some gas. But if I can get a battery in it and see if it goes, it's turning over, that'd be good. And then if this will work, get in there and work, I'm thinking what I may do is just 3D print a little base that's the same size as this, and then has a cutout in the middle that's the same size as this, and it can just kind of act like a sleeve in there, and keep this thing steady. But I want to make sure it's going to fit and wires reach and all that good stuff first. So let's see. Let's see how it goes. So battery's in there. It does wiggle a little bit. I wouldn't take it down the road like that. I'll probably build a spacer for it, like I said, if this works. But it is in there. Terminals are connected. A little trickle charger thing was down there. I made sure it's connected now too. I don't necessarily want to start, so I think I'm going to pull the plug wires off probably. Also, there's really no gas in it, but I'm going to go ahead and turn the fuel off too. I just want to see if it's going to turn over first thing. Good deal. Well, that's what we found out. Nothing. Nothing. Well, it looks like nothing's got any power. I'll probably check some fuses. I'm pretty sure that battery should be good. It charged overnight. Alright, so I don't know if there was a sticky switch issue or maybe a relay or something that might have been a little hung up. I clicked the key back and forth a few times and it seems to have got some kind of juice in it now. We do have a working headlight, neutral. What are these other ones? I don't know what that says. We got a few lights on the dash here. Well, it turns over. I think next step may be to put some gas in this thing. Maybe purge a little out the fuel line right there by the filter. See how terrible it looks. See if it'll start up. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Anyways, this is the petcock for the fuel tank. I sprayed a little bit of carb cleaner in the tank. Tried to rinse out the sides. It doesn't look too bad rusty or anything like that in there, but I got this turned off. I disconnected the main fuel line from it, and I just got this short piece of hose that I had lying around here, and I'm going to turn it on, see if anything comes out at all. If I hit reserve, it should be the bottom of the tank. Which one's reserve? Off, fuel, that's reserve right there. So, pretty much nothing came out. On, off, reserve. So, turn it back off. Pour a little bit of gas in there, see if we get any trash comes out when I rinse it. Put a little bit in there, we'll see if that's enough to get it up to the pickup. And if anything comes out. Oh, stuff's coming out. That's a pretty good sign there. Now this bucket's awful dirty. I'm gonna get something cleaner where I can actually see if there's a lot of debris in the tank or if it's clean. Hold on, let me grab a, God bless America. It's a mess now. Now we've done it. Alright, so I got a pretty fresh little water bottle here. We're gonna see what kind of trash is in here. It's not good to put gas in these kind of bottles. That eats them away. It won't last very long, but just to take a gander at it. Doesn't look bad. I really don't see anything in there at all. So, I'm going to hook this stuff back up. And I don't know, see if it'll start. One key for the tank and one for the ignition. So that's pretty sweet. May have a fuel pump issue. Oddly enough, this bike came with a brand new fuel pump. However, this is a 2-wire pump and what's on there is a 4-wire pump. So I'll have to do some research to see if I can even make this work on there, but kind of leads me to believe there could be a fuel pump issue. I'm going to give that one a couple of taparoos. It just looks like a regular electric fuel pump, so I should be able to hear it if it cycles on. Yeah, I don't hear anything. Oh, it ran. She's a little smoky, boys. A little smoky. Well, it lived for a second, and it smoked a lot. Hopefully we can get it to do a little bit better than that. Well, it's idling, kinda. Smoking a little. It might die. It lives! Yeah, she's smoking a little bit. I also see this was blowing out of the exhaust about where that H pipe is down here. Right at that joint right there. Well, so it ran. There's only a tiny bit of gas in it. It's only running on reserve. I'm hoping that's why. It's just because there's a tiny bit of gas in it. Hopefully I can get some more gas in there and it'll run on instead of just reserve. The battery is the main reason that I'm a little leery about taking it down the road, because the battery can flop around. It may short out in there. So I'm thinking of maybe just temporarily jamming something. I don't know. Here's a cardboard box. Find something that I can jam in there to keep that battery from shifting to the side. Like I said, I probably need to just 3D print a plate for it to where it can kind of sit in a plate that holds it centered in there. But I think temporarily I may just jam something in there to keep it tight and give it a once down the road, see what happens. Oh, also, I don't know if you guys saw that. This little paper towel was right here and went flying inside there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's inside there now. So I have to look into that too. So that's the battery tray. That's the battery. Got this rag stuffed in here. Seems to be holding her pretty tight. I'm gonna flop this thing back up if it'll go. Oh, I want to pull some measurements on it real quick. I'm gonna pull some measurements on this and the old battery and this space in here and see if I can, like I said, 3D print something that would act like a little shim or a sleeve or a adapter or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, let me pull some measurements on this thing real quick and then I'll get it buttoned up. Probably go ahead and put my little side covers here on there and slap the seat back on. Check our tire pressure. I'm sure they're flat. Hadn't been running years. That's pretty typical. So get them aired up. Maybe this thing will be ready for a road trip. Should we take the windshield off? Or I hate windshields. I don't know. Yeah, I'm doing it. Well, I got this thing cleaned up, looking decent. It runs. I took it down the road and it was popping and snapping. It died a couple times. I ended up just coasting it back into the driveway. Then I got some carb cleaner, and I didn't actually remove the carburetors, but I sprayed carb cleaner through every orifice, all through the bowls, cleaned the carburetors as best as I could without actually removing them from the bike, and it runs awesome. I did have some footage of spraying the carb cleaner through there, but I don't know what happened to it, so sometimes that happens. So it's running great now, actually running real strong, and next thing I want to do is chop it up a little bit. I want to go with like a bobber look on this thing. So I'm gonna do some disassembly on this thing and chopping and hacking and see how it turns out. Alright, so let's see where we're at here. We got sissy bars off. Some of the wiring still just hanging out here. That all plugs into this little deal here. I got both sides of this bar shortened out right there. I'll probably 3D print a little cap, maybe a little, I don't know, something to pop in here, kind of like these little chrome caps here. I'll probably 3D print something that'll pop into those on each side. Kind of dress that up a little bit. Now my original intentions were to probably cut this somewhere about here, little curve like this, cut the rest of this fender off somewhere in this area. But as you see, when you take the seat off, the back seat, you got this relay box and module and all this stuff under here. And I can relocate this probably inside this area somewhere, but what I don't like is these little nubs sticking up on the fender. There's one there and there's one on this side over there. If I were to cut it about here, those two little nubs would be left sticking up. I don't know. I don't really like that. Ooh, I'm going to ponder on this a little bit. I could cut it all the way back to like here, and then the front seat will cover all that, and then there's really no fender at all. For now, I need to just stare at this, ponder, determine where this needs to stop at and what it's going to entail to get it there. I don't necessarily want to repaint any of this. I was hoping to get a clean cut somewhere and just kind of paint that edge that's going to be left with some black touch up or something on whatever edge is left after I cut it. But like I said, to figure out what I want to do with it. Well, so this is what I came up with. I think I'm going to go this route and just kind of see what I think about it. I've moved all this control module and crap over to down in here. It seems like I can still get the seat on there. There's one relay I got dangling. May shorten these wires, or I may just ball them up, zip tie them up into here somewhere. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with this cut. I like that, other than the fact that this thing is still in the way, poking out, all goofy looking. Where's my seat? Not really, maybe something like that. That's how the seat goes. So that's going to leave us with just a little bit of fender back there. Cutting it right before this other big bung spot. Whereas to get rid of this bung, save this one, I might just stick a plastic plug in there or something and see if it annoys me too bad. If it does, I guess I can always just come way back here and whack it off super short. But I'd like to have just a little bit there, so I'm going to try that and see what I think about it. I got a Dremel that would probably cut that, but I think I'm going to try out this jigsaw with this terribly rough blade and see how terrible that cuts for starters and go from there with it. I did like a little test cut right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. It does cut fairly smooth, a nice cut, but this is like a wood blade, so I don't really know how long it's going to last doing that, but we're going to give it a shot. I'm going to try to make a straight cut and then come back in and hit this curve last. So, let's see how it goes. What's up, Bubba? Well, we broke it. Broke the blade. So I guess I'll be switching over to my Dremel, I guess. Well, now that broke. Great. Well, that wore out a blade pretty quick. See. That ain't bad. I can probably take a file, clean that edge up just a little bit. It's like right here, might need just a little bit of clean that edge up a little bit, and then I'm gonna hit that bare metal with some black paint. Let's throw the seat on it real quick, see what we think about it. There. Oh yeah. I think it does need some drag bars, the flat handlebars, but I like it. I like it. And I'll probably put a little plastic clip, snap, plug thing in that little hole right there. And boy, oh boy, I like it. Now it's a bobber. There you go. So I printed a couple of these caps. They're supposed to go right here. This is ABS. The only thing I had in ABS right now was this red. So I'll probably have to paint them. Probably paint them black. Say we try to pop one on there. Oh, she's tight. Ooh. How's that look? Pretty damn good. Let's try this other one. Something like that. Ooh, that ain't bad. Like, that ain't bad. Like, that's actually pretty freaking clean looking. Maybe even need some more of them, like up here or something. Maybe a couple right there. I don't know, just something. Do something back here. It makes me want to do some more up here, you know? We got the back end looking mean. Wait till we get the tail light in there, dude. Just wait till that. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. It's alright. She's still a little rough around the edges. She's coming together. She is definitely coming together. Alright everybody, I think we're at a good stopping point here. We still got a lot more custom stuff to do to this thing. I'm going to do some drag bars. I still got to do something with the tail light. Just a lot of little odds and ends basically to get this thing finished up. If you like this content, hit the little bell down there. You'll get notifications when the next episode comes out. The next video may be more on the green Challenger, but I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work out yet. But stay tuned, and as always, like and subscribe.